Henry Gracie said, the right move at the wrong time is the wrong move. And I got to thinking that morality is like this, right? Okay, so it's correct, it's right not to lie. Right. We shouldn't deceive people, just as a general principle. I believe that. There's a story my friend told me about one time. I don't talk to him much anymore. I met him through CrossFit, and he said he was a pizza delivery guy, and that someone held him up, got held up at gunpoint. So he takes out his wallet, give me your money, takes out his wallet, gives it to him, and then then he's like, those dumbasses, I had $800 in my back pocket. Oh man, okay, so he deceived people trying to take advantage of him. Was that wrong? Me, I would say no, it is not wrong. What if he had to lie? What if he said, all right, bro, this is all I got, right? What if he lied? Should he feel bad about these people that are potentially going to kill him over money? No, I feel like anybody would agree that even if it was wrong, it was worth it. Okay? The right move at the wrong time is the wrong move. You know, to have such clear, there's this other story. I remember telling or hearing this story, I don't know, maybe it's 10 years ago. Of, the Nazis are coming around knocking on people's doors to ask about the Jews. And the Nazis ask, hey, is there anyone home to this? Are there any Jews here? To this lady. And the lady tells them, yeah, they're right in here. And they think that's hilarious. The Nazis think that's hilarious. So they just close the door. All right, ma'am, have a good day, and walk away. Maybe it did happen like that. That would be another form. Okay, so the argument would be God performed a miracle. This lady was that dedicated to her truth. And good for her. Good for her if she really believes that. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe it was a miracle. But you could also say that they mistook her. They thought, well, obviously this lady is messing with us, right? Or she's joking. So should she have corrected them and told him, no, I'm serious. There really are Jews in here. I can't lie. No, she let them, it was an interesting misunderstanding. If say this story was really true, it was an interesting misunderstanding that worked out for her advantage. Regardless of what side people fall on this debate of should we understand morality in absolutes, or is there some ambiguity? Is there a time to deceive people? Is there a time to I don't know, use violence, right? The advantage of speaking in absolutes is that everything's very clear. It's very clear what you should and shouldn't do. There's never an exception. The other side of that is that you're okay with ambiguity and gray area. Things aren't so clear. What do they say in Lord of the Rings? The elves are difficult because they often answer in yes and no, right? Maybe this is kind of like a cliche of person of wisdom, that they're more okay with ambiguity. Maybe they've seen a lot of life circumstances that were confusing and they saw both sides of it. A guy that I worked for, he said when he was learning English in school, I don't know where he got this, but they called this the curse of knowledge. He was talking about being empathetic and how maybe other people in his family member running a particular business weren't as empathetic. He saw people got taken advantage of. And this made him think. This compelled him to come to certain conclusions that, no, I should be logical. I should be fair to people. I should be fair, whatever that means. In game theory, right? Or in, who is this? Who's the guy that Peterson always references? The game theory guy. Children developmental psychology. Not Pageau. This is really going to bother me. But basically the idea that if the big rat always wins the wrestling competition, the small rats aren't going to wrestle with them anymore, because what's the point? I don't know. Or that guy's a bully. He never lets people win. Some people might take that as an interesting challenge, but he might have less partners if he's always winning, because what's the point in playing? Screw you, you know? Oh my gosh, I'm really trying to think of that guy's name, but I think it starts with a P. Developmental psychology guy, game theory. People want to play fair games, reciprocal games. Anyway, the right move at the wrong time is the wrong move. Thinking of this in terms of morality. If you're okay with ambiguity in morality, you're gonna be more empathetic, which is gonna slow down your decision making. You're not gonna be, maybe if someone wants to be a good fighter, someone wants to be really good at fighting, they're going to have to be okay with those trades. In the moment, they're going to have to be okay with using violence. How would I want to put it? More disagreeable people make more money across time. This is another Peterson quote. More disagreeable people make more money across time. Why? Because they're acting in self-interest. And it's not wrong to act in self-interest. I guess it's disadvantageous if it starts to work against you over time. Hey, that guy don't play fair. People start talking about you. People are going to start talking about you regardless if you're doing well. But if you're doing it in a way that's clearly unfair to people, people are going to try to work against you. You know what I mean? This is just human nature. Also being okay with moral ambiguity. Or as I've become more comfortable with moral ambiguity, I started seeing people differently from different belief systems. I started being open to the idea that not all Christians believe the same, not all people believe the same, and that's okay. Okay, I'd say that if I would have known better, I would have done better. But when you're an evangelist and you are trying to save people from hell, the mission is very high stakes, and you'd rather not have any ambiguity, because the ambiguity could land you in hell. You know, this is maybe a bad motivator. Hell is a bad motivator for religion. Well, it's a good motivator, like from a fight or flight perspective, but bad motivator if you're like trying to understand the people and empathize and in my opinion, really seek the truth. If you're really trying, some people are going to be motivated by it, but in my particular case, when if I'm really trying to seek the truth, why would I jump out of a system that threatens hell? The system I was born into. I guess not everybody would feel this way. In my particular, evangelicalism I was born into, not everybody would feel this way, but the threat is so extreme of leaving that what a rational person would leave? Fortunately, in my particular case, I started to see some contradictions in myself, that I thought I knew the absolute moral standards and that I had internalized them. But there were other people that didn't live by these standards, but by all seeming appearances, they seemed to be more good than me. Like, to me, not just abstractly, like that person might be good, but you know, maybe I'd lose my temper and that person wouldn't, or I would say something harsh to the person, maybe even religiously, talking about evangelicalism, and they were calm and didn't return fire, but could listen to me and sort through these things with me. And that is confusing when you have someone do that. It's also confusing when you get evangelized by other religions. These two Mormon guys came to my house a couple months ago, and I'm just at a place where I could talk to them and ask them about what they believed and why. Two young guys, elder so-and-so and elder so-and-so, right? Two young guys, 20s, early 20s. And like, guys, what makes you Mormon? And what's something that's a misunderstanding about Mormons? And are you guys paying for this yourselves? I mean, this is a very dedicated mission. Are you, what do you like to do? I don't know, just asking them questions, human questions. And they answered them, and they didn't try to run a script on me. They were interested that I would listen. Okay. Now, I would never, on the other side, I would never become a Mormon in a gazillion years, because, like, for some people this is just obvious, but if we just look at, or if I just take my past experience, and you know how confusing it is to have people of other religions evangelize you when you used to be an evangelist, because you notice so many similar patterns of the ways you would try to engage with people and bait people into conversations and bait people in conversation. What else? I don't know, the way you would make your God exclusive, the way you would want to get to know people, and it was kind of for this end game thing, because if it's really the truth, of course that's the thing you're going to care the most about. And you know, yeah, we just believe that he's the most recent prophet, and there's all sorts of similar claims in all the religions about different prophets. And I'm not reducing this to a simple, like, everyone says it's the truth, so how could it possibly be the truth, right? If everyone says that their truth is the truth. I remember talking in college, this was over 15 years, this is 15 years ago probably, talking to this kid named Tariq about Christianity, and he had come from Islam, but he was more of cultural Islam. He wasn't a fundamentalist or anything. He didn't try to evangelize. He was more of a secular guy. But he was like, man, everybody that is in religion is doing what you're doing right now. You realize this, right? Lots of people told me that, but it was too high stakes to believe otherwise. Okay, how can I come to a close on this? The right move at the wrong time is the wrong move. Morality does change. Now, the fact that there's an organizing principle behind everything, I don't think this changes. I think, you know, John Vervaeke, the cognitive scientist. Cognitive science is when you combine a bunch of the different sciences to see where they talk to each other, to gain as much data as you can. And it's like an interdisciplinary. It's like if someone's a mixed martial artist of science. That's what it's like. Interdisciplinary science. And yeah, what are you going to learn? You're going to learn things about the different arts from the different arts, right? If you're a jiu-jitsu guy, but someone comes in and they do Muay Thai, you're going to notice, hey, whoa, this clinch here, this clinch from the Muay Thai guy, there's ways that this applies to jiu-jitsu, which is what Rick is always preaching to us about control in the clinch. Where was I going with this? Yes, so there's organizing principles behind things. And in my personal opinion, that points to, in Neoplatonism, they call it the one, right? The uncreated one, the organizer. How, I was just talking to my buddy about this the other day, how you throw a watch in the ocean and in nature, it comes together as a perfect watch, right? Evangelists use philosophy like this all the time for their own particular religions. It's like you try to get people on board with theism, which I'm on board with, and then you try to funnel them into, but this particular bend on it. No, this is the fullest expression, right? So, the organizing principles, yes. This is an amazing place that we're in. Reality is so weird. It's so weird that so much organizes itself the way that it does. And I'm animated Nick, human, talking with syllables from teeth and tongue and invented vocabulary of English that has been developing for a hot minute. Yeah, it's just all too weird. So organizing principle, yes, but what do I want to say? If you're okay with the ambiguity, if you open up to the ambiguity a little bit, one, it teaches you an enormous amount. I am a student of it. I'm not a master. In the beginner's mind, the possibilities are many. In the master's, there are few. That doesn't mean you would never commit to a position. That doesn't mean you don't have to have organizing principles in your life and that nothing matters. No, if anything, if you're on that journey of truth, then it's going to be interesting and far weirder. The truth, I think, is far more interesting and weirder than our brains can handle. So we have to create shortcuts. Not saying I don't do that. Have to do that to survive. Or else the combination of things would explode. Combinatorial explosiveness is Vervaeke's term. So we have to use heuristics. That person's trying to hurt. That person might be trying to hurt me. Bad person, right? Even though when you break these things, so when then you start to break the heuristics down, and it's like, oh, I misunderstood that person. Actually, they thought I was trying to hurt them. They were scared, not mean. You know what I mean? If you open yourself up to the ambiguity a little bit, you learn. If you don't immediately try to react by solving the problem or running away from the problem, if you don't immediately fight or flight, and you can be mindful, which can be definitely can be trained. That's what the Stoics were doing. That's what the Buddhists were doing. That's what, I don't know, any therapist worth their salt with a little bit of DBT. What is it? DBT. Behavioral therapy. Dialogical behavior? No. I forget what this is called. It's super famous. Originates from Stoicism. With a little bit of training in these things and being okay with the ambiguity, you're going to learn a lot. And it's going to put you more on a quest than in the solved state, maybe, at first. But, hey, is it not about the journey rather than the result? Doesn't the person that love walking, aren't they going to get further than the person that's just trying to get down the street or whatever, right? Got to enjoy the process. The hero doesn't start already perfect or knowing how the journey is going to end or anything like that. But any good hero story, they got to go through some trials and tribulations. They got to transform. They got to be tested. They have to leave the Shire, right? And being okay with they got to be okay with ambiguity, because they don't know. Sometimes they don't know which way is up, which is down. But if I trust anything, if I have faith in anything, it's in that organizing principle that there is truth, there is good. I have faith in that. Why? Because at this point it seems self-evident to me. Even someone that's fully deconstructed, or an atheist, this lady I'm reading right now, she will tell you to tell the truth. And why? It's a good question. Why? Well, because it's evolutionary advantageous. But even what she said, even she would say, but it's more than that, right? We don't need deeper reasons. Maybe we need. I think. Me personally, I need a deeper reason. How else then would it make sense? Here's some thoughts for you guys. The right move at the wrong time is the wrong move.